the tube station. Why don't we talk about the last video that I made? Not the last, not the final, but the previous video that I made. It was called Why We Can't Build Better Cities, FT, Not Just Bikes. Hey, Not Just Bikes is in chat. Woo! Hey, welcome, Jason. Welcome. When I learned that the building I was born in was turned into luxury flats, I was a little disappointed. But I did think, oh my gosh, that's a great hook to open a video on, isn't it? Like that opening bit about like, this is the building I was born in, and now it's all, luxury flats. I was like, oh, that's a really good, interesting way to start a video. Shall I tell you a little bit about my research process for this video, and in particular about the books that I read? I know that you're all keen to hear about books, so let's get into it. My research process for this video started in a bit of a different way for me. I read a copy of the London Review of Books, which a friend of mine left in my flat. I'd never read it before, but I started looking at the adverts, because it obviously advertises new books that are coming out. It's like, what are people reading and writing about? Like, what are the intellectual circles of the world thinking about these days? I'll try and keep my, fingers on the pulse for PhilosophyTube. And I saw an advert for Stephen Conn's book, The Lies of the Land, which you'll remember I referenced in the video. And I thought, well, that sounds kind of interesting. I was like, maybe there's an episode in there about rural spaces and urban spaces, and like, I'd heard this idea before that, rural life is more authentic, and I was like, oh, that's sort of philosophically loaded term. I'm interested in that. So I sort of make a note of it. And then I went and I watched a whole bunch of Not Just Bikes videos. I watched like 4 or 5 of Jason's videos back to back, and I was particularly interested in the ones he made about suburbia being subsidized by urban areas, because that kind of blew my mind. And the idea of quantifying that in like a graph was fascinating to me. I never thought of doing that. I was like, oh, wow, that's really interesting. I bet my audience would be interested to hear about that. So that was sort of where I started. And that was the point at which I messaged Jason and said, hey, I think I want to do a video about this. I'm not sure what it is yet, but do you want to be there? And he's like, yeah, cool. So then I started looking around YouTube and seeing, okay, what else have people made about urban spaces and rural spaces? And I watched Elliot Sang's video, which I referenced in mine, and then he referenced David Harvey. So I was like, okay, make a note of David Harvey, come back to him. And I watched Thought Slime's video about homelessness. So I was like, okay, maybe there's an angle about homelessness and dehumanization in here as well. Oh, Frank Laundrie. I really enjoyed Frank Laundrie's video. And I was like, oh yeah, that's a really cool idea. I really like what he's done there. And I made a note, I need to talk about gentrification and that sort of thing. Oh, I had also heard about David Banks's book, The City Authentic, on an episode of Trash Future. So I made a note to read that too, and I did. And then the twist was that I got sent an advanced copy of Judith Butler's new book, Who's Afraid of Gender? And I read that and I was thinking, okay, this is going to be the basis of this is going to be a basis of an episode later in the year at some point. But then the more I read of it, and at some point my brain just went, oh, all this stuff about phantasms, that's related to the 15-Minute Cities conspiracy theory. I was like, oh yeah, because I had listened to an episode of QAnon Anonymous. I listened to QAA a fair bit. I like to listen to QAnon Anonymous when I'm doing the housework, so I often, every time I listen to it, I want to start hoovering. So I'd listened to the episode with Annie Kelly about 15-Minute Cities and found it fascinating. In particular because Oxford isn't that far away from me. These aren't American QAnon people, and it's easy to imagine they're elsewhere. These are people in Oxford, So I was like, oh wow, okay. And so I made the connection between Judith Butler's book and the 15-Minute Cities, and I was like, oh, that's the twist of the video. That's the bit where we go, whoa, and we kind of we spin out into the second bit of it, right? And also, I came up with that look, the Phantom of the Phantasm. So I came up with this look, the cowgirl, and I thought that's going to be when we're talking about countryside stuff and what it means to be authentic. So it's a down-home country authentic feel to it. And then for the Phantom of the Phantasm, I was like, okay, I want the kind of the personification of hidden truths, of mystery, of power, of seduction, of being seduced by a dark and unknowable force. And so that's what this look was all about, the Phantom. Oh yeah, I went back to Frank Laundrie's video and I rewatched it, and I realized I needed to do something about gentrification, and I wanted to make it Britain. I wanted to make it British. So I realized I kind of want to film in London. and I read Joy White's book, Terraformed, which sort of provided a really welcome British perspective on things. So yeah, that was good. And the rest of it was just kind of like filling in the blanks, to be honest. I went back and I read a lot of newspaper articles and academic papers and so on, but that was pretty much the research journey that I went on for it. Yeah. Oh my gosh, thank you so much to one cooler guy who says, who super chatted for $20.69. I was trying to think of a fun way to derail the stream for a bit as a way to pay the YouTube tax. Please explain, you were in Baldur's Gate 3? I know that at this point it's a completely irrelevant question, but now I must know. Yeah, so I don't know, let me start from basics. When I'm not on YouTube, well, at all times actually, I'm a professional actor. So I do, voiceovers, I do occasional adverts. I'm in a couple of like big TV series that are going to be coming out later this year. Like I wrote a movie, I was in a play. So one of the roles I did was I'm Nocturne in Baldur's Gate 3. If you play Shadow Heart's questline all the way through the end, then you'll find me. I'm in the game. So there you go. Fun times. Thank you so much for your super chat. That's amazing. This is so generous. Wow. Oh, another section of the post-show analysis that we like to do is I call Transphobia Watch. Transphobia Watch. Boo, 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 boo. How much transphobia was there in the comments of this video? The answer this time was not much. Definitely some, not zero, but actually overall pretty good. I know that this video reached new audiences thanks in large part to Not Just Bikes. And it turns out, Jason, your audience are absolutely lovely, as I knew they would be. So pretty pleased with that. Not too much abuse in the workplace. Yay! I like it when I don't get abused in my workplace. Great times. I still get abused a little bit in my workplace, but not much. So that's cool. Not Just Bikes. So Jason, you say that you wanted to avoid talking about 15-minute cities on your channel. Is that because you were worried about hate comments and conspiracy people? Because I gotta say, like, I didn't get many. I got like less than 10. I mean, I also do have the kind of patented Philosophy Tube digital safety net. But at the same time, like, even if you didn't have the digital safety net, I wonder how many like weird comments you would get. But yeah. Oh, Katie Jackson says, what is the patented Philosophy Tube digital safety net? I don't know what that is. I just started doing that. We're gonna have to keep doing it now. So before I came out, so YouTube allows you to mute certain words preemptively. So if anybody uses those words in your chat, the comment automatically gets muted. So before I came out, I put every like transphobic slur I could think of, every mention of my dead name, every like spelling of any of my like names. So yeah, I created this like digital safety net. I don't know, I did it wrong. What did I do? Digital safety net. Digital safety net. Yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? It's just the digital safety net. So I've woven a kind of digital safety net around myself. And you know, it's really funny because whenever I appear in videos on another channel and I go and look at their comments, I'm always like, whoa, where's all the transphobia? There's like so much transphobia and like frankly misogyny too, and trans misogyny. We get the triple whammy there. Thank you, Alex Tilson. Go philosophy transformation secrets. You silly billies. So yeah, whenever I go and like see myself on someone else's channel, if they don't have a nice audience, I'm always just like, whoa, okay, this is what it's like being out in the wild. You know, this is just raw dog in YouTube, no protection. Just gotta get YouTube condoms. Oh god, like YouTube branded condoms would be so cursed. If someone's like, have you got protection? And then you like get out like a YouTube branded condom and it's like, you know what, never mind. Maybe actually that's the best kind of protection, is YouTube contraceptives. Getting YouTubes tied. Hey! Well done. Well done. We got there. Oh, yeah, last little thing. Fan art. We got this amazing bit of fan art from Emerald Zane 4516. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Let me move myself down here so you can see their name in the top right corner. Isn't that fantastic? Very like